Alrighty, Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Alright, so I was going through Facebook, reading articles, checking on the cruise news, and I came across an article that, just from the title, I'm like, you know what, I gotta read this, curiosity's killing me. I'm gonna take a look at it and see if there's any truth to this one. We've seen it before. People write slanted arguments against cruises, cruise lines, people that cruise, and just the whole concept of cruising. You know, they write those slanted all the time, wrong information, half-truths, all the way down to just blatant lies. So I had to check it out. Now, the title to this article was 30 plus truths about cruises that will make you rethink your vacation. So they have over 30 reasons of, after you read this, you're never going to want to take a cruise. You're going to rethink before you book a cruise. But the question is, are they all even truthful? Now, I'm going to go over them with you guys. And I'll tell you, some of them have some truth to them. Some of them are true. Some of them are just straight up lies. And after reading it, I feel like this particular author either doesn't like cruising, had a bad experience on a cruise, or the real possibility that she has never even been on a cruise whatsoever. But let's jump right in and get started with 30 plus truths about cruising that will make you rethink your vacation. And you guys let me know, do you think these are true, false, or just straight up lies? All right, so number one is that boarding the cruise ship is not like a red carpet walk. Anybody ever thought boarding the cruise ship was a red carpet walk? She writes in here that there's hundreds of people trying to get on the ship. They have luggage. They're trying to settle into their rooms. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know that they've ever put out the concept that it's a red carpet walk when you get on board a cruise ship. And honestly, anybody that's done an embarkation here in the last year and a half, there are times it's stressful. I'll give you that. But for the majority, for the more often than not, embarking on a cruise ship is really not that big of a deal. Drop off your luggage, hop in line, get checked in, get on board the cruise ship, start your vacation. Number two, the hot tubs. They are not private. Well, of course they're not private. They're up on the Lido deck, in the pool areas, the adult areas. What made you even think that they were private? Unless you get a suite that has its own hot tub on the balcony. Yeah, hot tubs on cruise ships are not private. If you've ever seen a picture of a cruise ship, you see the hot tubs up on the top decks. I don't know why you would think that they are private. So, not real sure where this one comes from. Number three, the rooms are not as spacious as they said on the website. So your cruise cabin's going to be smaller. Now, what she cites in the article, though, is that you see the picture on the website of a grand, big, giant room with a balcony and an awesome ocean view, only to board the ship and find out that you're in an inside cabin with no window. If you board the ship and you're on an inside cabin with no window, that's because that's what you booked. And every cruise line's website I've ever looked at shows the picture. Balcony cabin, ocean view cabin, interior cabin. So if you think you're getting a grand balcony with an ocean view and you get an inside cabin, you didn't do some research. You didn't look at the pictures on the website, and I really wonder how often this actually happens. Number four, under my umbrella. So again, she writes that you expect to get up on the top deck and just see the beautiful top deck, but the sun is shining and the sun is hot and the sun is bright, so people sit underneath umbrellas and in the shade. But she writes it as if you look at the top deck, you will just see one giant umbrella. Anybody been on a cruise? They know that's not true. And I don't want first-time cruisers to read articles like this and get the wrong impression of cruising before they've even had a chance to try it themselves. All right, number five, and one that does have truth to it. It is true. The bathrooms in your cabin might be a little bit cramped. Yep, cruise cabin bathrooms are not giant. They are not luxurious in your regular size cabins. They're small. Got to fit in a smaller amount of space. So, you know what? I'll give them. That is true. Cruise cabin bathrooms, yep, they can be small and cramped. Number six, Your first day is spent doing emergency drills. So even when it was the old style of muster, where you had to group together, get out on the deck, line up, all that mess, before they even went to the current e-muster system, it took a little bit of time. Yeah, it could take an hour or so to get through the muster drill. Of course, now with the new e-muster system, man, it's just lickety-split, in and out, done as quick as could be. So, no, you don't spend the first day of your cruise doing emergency drills. And even under the old way, you didn't spend your entire first day doing emergency drills. This person ever even been on a ship, even ever done a muster drill? Number 7, good luck finding a chair to sit in. All right, so anybody's been on a cruise, yeah, you know the chairs that are directly around the pools, closest to the pools, they fill up quickly, and at some points, yeah, it can definitely be harder to find a chair right there by the pool. There's always chairs to sit in that may not be exactly where you want to sit. I will give it that, but there's always a chair to sit in. Come on. So number 8, and a definite lie. All right. Number 8 is a lie. When they run out of deck chairs. So she goes back and says the chairs, of course, around the pool area, they get full. And then you want to have a cocktail and sit in the sun and enjoy your cocktail. But it can be way more difficult than you think because they're going to run out of chairs. And when they run out of chairs out on the upper decks, people will often drag their mattresses from their rooms to take up to the top deck to have a place to sit. Now, there was a picture that she put in the article to stress this fact. I'm going to go ahead and put this picture up here on the screen now. As you can see, there are people with their mattresses out on the deck. Now, just to clarify what this picture is, this is the Carnival Triumph. And if you remember the Great Poop Cruise, where the ship lost power for a couple of days before they could get it back, that is what this picture is from. The air conditioner wasn't working, bathrooms weren't working, the ship had no power. For your regular cruise, who has ever seen someone drag a mattress out of their room because they couldn't find a deck chair to sit in? And why I say that one was just a lie. Number 9, I don't know where this one comes from at all. Another lie. Okay? Flooding in the halls is normal. Yep, some water pipes have broken in cruise ships before, and water gets in the hallway. It's not that it doesn't ever happen, but to say that flooding in your hallway is normal? I've never even been on a cruise where this has happened. I walked up and down the cruise ship hallways tons of times. I've never been in a flood. And she goes on to say that when it happens, you just get a private pool in the comfort of your cabin to enjoy. Again, has she ever been on a cruise? Because flooding in the halls is not normal. Number 10, did someone say buffet? She says, were you expecting white glove service for all 3 of your meals? Well, in reality, ships will have buffet-style meals so they can feed thousands of people. Well, ships do have buffets. They do feed thousands of people. But they also have main dining rooms, specialty restaurants, other included places to eat on board cruise ships. It's not just a buffet. There's fancy restaurants on cruise ships, which is why I don't know that this person's ever been on a cruise, or at least not a good cruise, maybe some weird $50, a week cruise somewhere on a, 40-year-old ship. I don't know. I don't know how you come up with, they basically only have buffets. Number 11, a half-truth. Cakes, and more cake. Again, talking about the buffets, how the options and choices on buffets are just completely unhealthy. There's nothing healthy on buffets. You can get burgers, you can get fries, you can get donuts, you can get cakes. Well, that part is true. You can get burgers, fries, donuts, and cakes in a buffet. But if you've ever been on a buffet on these cruise ships these days, there are a ton of choices. Lots and lots of choices beyond burgers, fries, donuts, and cakes. Okay? And nothing against anybody that eats those. I eat those. Plenty of people eat those. But there's other choices. There's healthy choices. There's proteins. There's vegetables. there's salads, just a ton of options in a buffet, but she wants to make it sound like really you're going to get in this buffet line because that's the only place to eat on the ship, and the only thing you can get is burgers, fries, donuts, and cakes. This is just not true. Okay, yes, you can get those things, but there's so many other choices, which is why I say a half-truth. Number 12, fine dining. She says, if you've ever seen Titanic, you're probably expecting to see everyone dressed up and dining on fine china with 5-course meals, but instead it's more like dining at a chain restaurant. There are cruise lines out there that do dine like that. You get on one of those more ultra-luxury, more formal cruise lines, yeah, you're going to see people dressed up nightly. You're probably going to be eating on nicer china than you would on a budget-friendly cruise line. But even I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like eating in a chain restaurant. Number 13, this is what we call relaxing. She says, while the pool is one of the main attractions on a cruise ship, it has a tendency to get crowded. So many people that you have to keep a watchful eye on your children. You should be keeping a watchful eye on your children no matter what. And the pools, yeah, they get crowded on cruise ships. You got to go a certain time of day. Maybe while the ship's in port. Maybe first thing in the morning. Maybe the very end of the day. You can get in the pool. We've gotten in the pool and been the only ones in the pool before. But yeah, the pools can get crowded. But you should be watching your children anyway. That has nothing to do with the crowding in the pool. Number 14, where are the dolphins? Apparently there's a belief that the dolphins will simply be following your ship out in the open ocean. Well, that's generally not the case. You're not going to see over the side of the ship while you're out in the middle of the ocean and typically see dolphins. But because of that, you are simply staring out into nothing but water. Well, personally, I enjoy the ocean view. Sitting on a balcony, just calm, relaxing, sipping a drink, just watching the ocean. That's part of the attraction of cruising, in my opinion. It's one of the things I look forward to. So not really a problem. And I wasn't expecting dolphins to just be, swimming along with us, for 300 miles to our next cruise port. Number 15, now this one, I'll say is true. Working on a cruise will be fun, they said. Working on a cruise ship is not easy work. Cabins are small. Usually there's 2 people in a cabin, and they have little to no privacy. I'll give that one. The crew are some hard working individuals. Long hours, for months at a time, and not the greatest living spaces. That part is absolutely true. Number 16, the ports might not look like Instagram photos. Talking specifically about the port itself, that they are mostly cement structures. Well, you know what? That's true. Because it's a cruise pier. And it's a very, very large ship that has to pull up to a cement pier in order to tie off dock and for you to get off the ship. Now, some cruise ports are definitely more industrial than others. Again, very, very true. But it's not like you can park a giant cruise ship like Wonder of the Seas, the biggest one out there right now. Like you can just pull it up right on the beach, you hop off, and you're in the perfect Instagram spot. It's just not possible. Number 17, your luggage may or may not be lost. True. When you fly, your luggage may or may not get to where you're going. But I'm willing to bet that the cruise line's handling of luggage versus lost luggage has got to be better than the airline. Always stories from the airlines about lost luggage. Now, granted, they move a lot more luggage across the United States than a single cruise ship does. But if you combine all the cruise ships together, all the luggage that gets on a cruise ship, I'm still willing to bet that the percentage of lost luggage on cruise ships is lower than it is in the airport. Number 18, and definitely one of the ones that makes me say, I don't think you've ever taken a cruise before. Try not to get cabin fever. So if you take a cruise in the wintertime and you leave from a northern port, we'll call it Alaska, the first few days of your sailing, it could be too cold to sit by the pool. You might be in your cabin and get cabin fever from nothing to do. There's always activities on board a ship. And if you took a cruise in the winter, leaving from a northern port, you should have known it was going to be a little bit chilly. You're not sitting by the pool anyway in most of those cases. You packed appropriately, jackets, long pants, sweaters, hats, whatever the case may be, so you can still be out on deck enjoying the scenery, enjoying the cruise, enjoying the weather, because that's the kind of cruise you booked. I'm sorry, if you take a cruise up north, heading up north in the wintertime, and you're shocked you can't sit in your swimsuit right next to the pool and enjoy the summer sun because you booked a winter cruise up north, I don't even know what to say to that. Number 19, shuffleboard is fun, said no one ever. Funny thing about that is we almost always, when we cruise, see people playing shuffleboard. Is it the most popular activity on the ship? No, but we always see people playing. So again, it's a misconception because people do play it. We've seen them play it. And if honestly, absolutely nobody ever played it, cruise ships would probably just take it off. Number 20, silly, and I'm not real sure how this affects people's cruises, but here we go. Number 20, cue the Titanic theme song. So according to her, many people are tempted to recreate the scene from Titanic when they're on the bow of the ship, the flying scene from Titanic. But, it's just never going to live up to your expectations. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. A lot of cruise ships, you can't even get to the very bow of the ship to even attempt to recreate this. You can on Royal Caribbean ships, not all of them, but some of them, get up on the helicopter pad, you can get to the very bow of the ship. Check out some of our videos from our past cruises, Adventure of the Seas. You can see Tiffany doing it. She was laughing, she was having fun, so I guess it lived up to her expectation. All right, number 21. Yep, now this can happen, does happen occasionally, if you're not paying attention to exactly what you're booking, the type of room you're booking, and the location of where your room is. This can happen. I paid for an ocean view, but you paid for the room and found out it's an obstructed view room. Now they do have those on the ship. They usually let you know right there on the website that this is an obstructed view cabin. If you book with your travel agent, anything like that, they should also be letting you know that the cabin is an obstructed view cabin. They're also usually less expensive. A lot of times, you can get a balcony, get that extra space, get some type of view, or at least some fresh air, but your view is obstructed. So yeah, you can get in an obstructed view room. It has happened. It can happen. If you're not paying attention, it might happen to you. A lot of times cruise lines, if they offer you that upgrade, from your inside cabin to a balcony, or, into an ocean view to a balcony, or whatever the upgrade pattern is, sometimes those those obstructed view rooms could be where you end up. But hey, you make of it what you make of it, right? But experienced cruisers will tell you they're there. It can happen. Number 22. Now this one will be a matter of opinion. The statement she makes is a lie. But it's still a matter of opinion for a lot of people out there because not everybody likes the same thing. All right. But number 22, when they said entertainment, when they said the entertainment is quality. And she goes on to say, don't get your hopes up about quality entertainment because most of the time it's just a magician or a girl singing karaoke. So that leads me to believe that the Broadway style production shows that they put on in the main theater are my imagination. All of the musical entertainment around the ship is just our imaginations. The aqua shows, the ice skating shows, depending on what different cruise lines you go on, there is a magnitude of entertainment on board these ships. I said, and that's a preference, what you think is good and what you think is bad, but it's definitely way more than just a single musician and some girl singing karaoke. Have you even been on a cruise? So we're on to number 23. Now you remember the title of this article was 30 plus things that will make you rethink your vacation, right? I'm not sure how this one would do that or what the point she was trying to make with this, but number 23 is people of all ages. Okay? And it says cruises are fun for people of all ages. And if you book a regular cruise, you'll see old people, young people, and everybody in between. But why is this a reason to rethink your cruise or exactly why this had to be mentioned? I'm not sure. Number 24. Now this one includes a picture as well. And again, a seriously misleading picture that just blatantly tries to put the wrong image and the wrong impression in your mind. But number 24, the beautiful cruise ship. You expect to walk into port and see your ship, and it's beautiful, and it's gleaming, and it's white and pristine exterior. But it won't be brand new, and it won't be as perfect as it once was, because the sea is harsh on the ships. Cruise lines go through a lot of effort. Everybody that's been on a cruise, you know, you've seen it. You dock at the port, they're out there washing, painting, cleaning, all kinds of stuff, repairing, welding, grinding, whatever they have to do with the upkeep of that ship. These cruise lines are doing it. If you look at the cruise ships, majority of the time they are really, really beautiful and they look really, really good. But I'm going to go ahead and put the picture up here now because this is what this author's example was of a cruise ship that has an issue and has a problem. If you look at this cruise ship had a fire in the buffet there at the rear of the ship. And I can't remember exactly what ship this was. But this is after a fire on board a cruise ship. This is not normal wear and tear. Number 25, endless alcohol. You can pretty much get any drink you want on board a cruise ship with an alcoholic package. You can get any drink you want pretty much on a cruise ship. Without one, you're just going to pay for them. And it's all fun and games until you've been drinking for 3 days and the hangover kicks in. All right, well, you know what? That's a true statement. If you over imbibe on a cruise ship and you get a hangover, it's possible. Plenty of people on the cruise ships are not drinking alcohol in order to get themselves a hangover or drinking alcohol at all. That's also true. But yeah, there is alcohol available on board cruise ships and you could drink quite a bit of it. And if you drink enough of it that you get sick, if you drink enough of it that you get a hangover, well, it's on you. Number 26, truth to this one as well, scary sailing. The weather is continually changing out at sea. You could have rough seas, rain, thunderstorms. You could be avoiding a hurricane during the right time of the year. Yep, all of that is true. And the captain's going to do everything possible to avoid the absolute worst of it, stay out of the worst of it the best they can. But yeah, you're going to see some weather out at sea, and it can change from day to day. So yeah, that's pretty true. Number 27, I absolutely cannot speak to the truth of this one or to the falsehood of this one whatsoever because I honestly have no idea. But number 27 is mingling. It is common for people to go on cruises looking to meet someone for a cruise fling. I've only ever cruised married, so I've never gotten on a cruise ship looking for a cruise fling. Honestly, I have no idea if this is true or not. You guys are going to have to tell me if this is true or not. We got a bunch of single cruisers, solo cruisers, people that cruise by themselves, booking a cruise to go to find a cruise fling. You're going to have to tell me if this is true, if this happens or doesn't happen, because I honestly just don't know. Number 28, a swanky casino. You board the cruise ship expecting to find a Las Vegas style casino, but instead when you get on there, it's just typically a few card games and a few slot machines. And here is another picture that is associated with this particular claim. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here now. Look at this casino. This picture is either very, 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 very old or is not even taken from on board a cruise ship. Okay, maybe this is one of those, super tiny casino ships, that goes out for a couple hours and comes back, maybe. But, you look at the floor and look at the decor inside this casino right here and tell me this is from one of our new cruise ships. Tell me this is off of a current cruise ship that you guys are familiar with, or if you've even seen a casino that looks like this before. Number 29, the romantic getaway. Because cruises, they're a big attraction for couples and honeymooners, and they have it in their head that they're going to board the cruise ship, they're going to sit by the pool and hold each other's hands, gaze into each other's eyes. But that's really hard to do because there's families and rowdy youngsters. And you just can't ever have a moment of peace. And while, yep, it can get rowdy by the pool. It can get crowded by the pool. It can get noisy by the pool. There's going to be families. There's going to be kids. Unless, I don't know, you book an adults-only cruise or book a cruise line that a lot of families and children don't sail on. Again, this is not every ship. This is not every cruise line. This is not every itinerary out there. Okay, it's wrong to say that no matter what pool you go sit by, you can never have a quiet moment together because it's just constantly families and rowdy children. While yes, that's true in some cases, it's not true in every case. It all depends on what you choose. Now, number 30, this one's kind of a repeat because it's perfect weather. Sadly, the captain cannot control the weather at sea. Well, like I said, this one's already come up. You're going to have thunderstorms, rain, rough water, all that kind of stuff. And obviously the captain can't. Number 31, relaxing beaches. So you get off the ship, it's a tropical location. You're expecting to go to the beach, have the beach to yourself, kick back, relax. It's going to be super quiet, but only to find out it's a popular beach and everybody goes there and it gets kind of crowded. Well, you know what? That's true. If you go to a very popular beach in a destination that, say, Cozumel, that has 4, 5, 6 ships in port, Nassau, that has multiple ships in port at a time, yep, some of the most popular beaches are definitely going to be crowded. That part is true. But there's always options for a quiet getaway. There's always, different beaches you can go to and you can check out. Avoid the most super popular ones and find yourself a nice quiet one somewhere. Usually they can be found. Number 32, must find service. To me, kind of obvious here, but cruise ships charge for the Wi-Fi. So if you don't feel like paying for the Wi-Fi, you can be without service while you're out at sea. Yep. Sure can be. And cruise ship Wi-Fi is not necessarily the best, even if you do pay for it. Number 33, you probably won't get to meet the captain. Okay? Because, the captain's busy running the ship and doesn't have time to walk around and meet passengers. And you may not see the captain a whole lot on your cruise ship. You may only see the captain one time. They usually have, a get-together, a champagne toast with the staff, where the captain will be there. Sometimes in the theater, the captain may be up on the stage. So I would say this one here could probably go either way. There may be times when you don't see the captain. There may be times when you don't get an opportunity to meet the captain. And then there are times when you will both get to see him and meet the captain and have your picture taken with him. A lot of them take pictures, it's a certain time on a certain day while on board the ship, but there's usually opportunity. Number 34. I think I'm going to be seasick. Seasickness while out on sea can be a problem. Larger cruise ships have less motion than smaller cruise ships. Yep, all that is true. There are people who get sick while they're at sea. There are things you can take, patches you can use, different things to combat seasickness, but yep, seasickness is a possibility for some individuals. So number 34 is true. And number 35 is also true. The boat waits for no one. Yep, if you go ashore and you miss the all-aboard time while the ship will wait for you a little while, it's going to get to the point where the ship can no longer wait. And if you're not back on board, the ship will leave without you. Okay, if you're on a cruise line sponsored excursion that you book through the cruise line, of course, you're guaranteed to get back on the ship. A lot of third-party excursion companies now, are promising they're going to get you back on board on time, and they do a great job of that as well. But yeah, if you miss the boat, it's not going to wait, and it will eventually leave without you. Number 36, it's like contagion in real life. With thousands of people on board a cruise ship, passengers can get sick and sometimes it can spread. Again, that is true. Norovirus is a great example of something that can spread around the cruise ship. Number 37, someone who loves me went on a cruise and all they brought me back was his stupid t-shirt. Now, what you're talking about here is that you get off in the cruise port and a lot of the cruise ports are touristy. And if you look a lot of the souvenirs that are in the cruise ports, a lot of them, you'll see repeats from cruise port to cruise port to cruise port. You'll see repeat stores, and you have to look a little bit harder to find something local, something a little more exotic. You know what? That part is true. Yeah, if you just hop off the cruise port and you run into the nearest shop right there, you're probably going to see something you saw in the last 3 cruise ports. They may change the name on it. This one may say Cozumel. This one could say Costa Maya. This one could say Jamaica. But you notice that they all look the same? Well, yeah, that's true. The cruise ports themselves are very touristy. If you want something authentic, you want something true, you want something local, you may have to look a little bit harder for it. But if you want it, chances are you can and will be able to find it. Number 38, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your wallet. Because it's not 100% guaranteed that the crew members are trustworthy and crew members will steal things from your cruise cabin. Definitely cannot say with a 100% certainty that this doesn't happen. I'm sure it has happened. Definitely can't guarantee that 100% of the crew members, are absolutely perfectly trustworthy. I'll give you that either. But I will say this much. For all the cruises I have been on, I would say I probably trust the staff members, the crew members, and my room steward that comes in my room more than I would trust some of the passengers on board that ship. That's what I think anyway. Like I said, I'm sure it's happened before. People have reported things missing. Stuff has been stolen from them. Because not everybody is 100% honest. And that's why they put safes in the room. So you can lock up those valuable items that you need to. But me personally, I've never, ever had a trust issue with a crew member on board a ship. And we're up to number 39. It says, no, Billy, we are not paying $40 for you to take a picture with a monkey. So, talking about excursions. The excursions can get pricey. Excursions can, in some cases, be $100 or more, or even higher, depending on where you're sailing to, per person. You know what? That is true. Excursions can be pricey. Excursions can be expensive. And yep, if you get a photograph taken on an excursion, it's not going to be cheap. They're going to want to sell it to you, and it's not going to be a rock bottom price. All that much is true. Now, you don't have to always take an excursion. You can compare and shop around different excursions and get better prices. But yeah, if you do decide that you're going to take an excursion while in a cruise port, it can get expensive. So it is something to keep a look at. So yeah, excursions can get pricey. And finally, number 40. And you know what? This one I will 100% agree with. This one I will say is 100% true. And it's pretty much been true for almost every cruise. Not all of them, but almost all cruises. And that is the adventure of disembarking. Everyone is trying to get off the ship all at the same time. They all want to be first. They all want to get off as quickly as possible. Causes congestion, causes lines, and people get impatient. All of that is absolutely true. Disembarking can be the roughest part of the cruise, in my opinion. Because you've gotten to that point where, you know what, I can't stay on anymore. They're going to make me get off. I just want to get off as fast as possible and be done with it. So yeah, disembarking is a bit of an adventure. I will definitely give her that. Are her 30 plus things about cruising that will make you rethink your vacation? 30 plus, it's actually 40 items because she had 40 different ones on their total. But what do you guys think? Like I said, there's some truth in here. There's some half truth in here. There's just straight up some what? This isn't even remotely true in here. The pictures that were picked to go along with this article, to me, really show that the individual either doesn't like cruising, doesn't have an idea about cruising, or has never even been on a cruise, just read some stuff, kind of threw some stuff together, and this what was born from that nonsense. And it's another example of, the things that people write about cruising who aren't avid cruisers, who don't enjoy it. It's not, how they choose to vacation. And that's okay. But don't write negative stuff about something you don't do. Right? And the whole purpose of talking about this today, honestly, was to have a laugh on the stuff that just isn't true and to look at these pictures. 2 is, of course, if there are any people out there that are thinking about a cruise and have never gone on a cruise, getting ready to book their first cruise, I want to make sure that the truth is out there. They have the actual, factual information about what happens on a cruise. Like I said, some of this is true, but, not all of it. There's definitely way more to the story than this individual put into it. But you guys let me know in the comments below. What you guys think about this particular article, these particular 40 things, and what is your opinion versus her opinion on cruising? All right, I hope everyone has enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow, and of course, we'll let you know anytime a new video comes out. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day, having a really great 4th of July, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.